What is the difference between an LLC and a corporation? We're going to talk about that and lots more right here on Cakeologi. Welcome everybody, you know who it is, B.O.B., none but the best of the best. Here on Cakeologi, we're going to be talking about what the difference is between an LLC and a corporation. It is time for us to get into business. It's time for us to register our companies, get our ideas on paper. So that is what we're going to be talking about. Real easy way to register our LLC and our corporations. Today we're going to discuss the differences between an LLC and a corporation and where we can go to register for one for just $49 right here on Cakeologi, baby! Number one, we're going to be discussing the major differences between an LLC and a corporation. What's right for you? As always, do not take this as financial or accounting advice. I want you guys to always have a good accountant and have an attorney on your team. Make sure you consult them before taking a step in any direction. They have to be on the team. So let's get into it. Number one difference between an LLC and a corporation is how they are taxed. A corporation pays the corporate tax rate, whatever that is. An LLC, they can be taxed in different ways. It depends on how you formed your LLC. Is it a single member LLC? Have you applied for it to be taxed like a corporation? Or are you running it more like a sole proprietor or partnership? Super good questions for your accountant. But that is number one on how they are different. So what's right for you? Do you want to be taxed as a corporation, or do you want to have the flexibility to be taxed in other ways? You can still be taxed as a corporation even though you form an LLC, just to let you guys know that as well. The second major difference between an LLC and a corporation is how they are formed. An LLC is formed by individuals called members. An LLC can be a single member LLC or it can be a multi-member LLC. An LLC, they obtain articles of organization, different from what a corporation receives. A corporation receives articles of incorporation. But if we want to file as an LLC, what we will get from our state are articles of organization. After we receive those articles, we're going to want to have an operating agreement. That agreement is going to outline who the members are of the LLC because they're called members. Every person that has equity or has ownership in an LLC is called a member. So you can be a single member LLC, for example, if it's just you that's a part of the company or the LLC, and you can have a multi-member LLC. In the operating agreement, we're going to discuss how everybody has their own responsibilities and outline those in the operating agreement. In addition, we're going to go into the operating agreement and we're going to put, well, what has this individual put into the company as far as an investment? How is his or her investment going to give them equity, or how much equity in that particular company? Now, an LLC, remember, is called an LLC because it's a limited liability company. A corporation is called a corporation. So an LLC is not a limited liability corporation, it's a limited liability company. One major difference. All right, let's keep it moving. Third major difference is how ownership of that particular business, that particular company is held. Business ownership. So one of the major differences is that a LLC or limited liability company has ownership by individuals. So individuals will come in, they will invest in that company, and they will all have equity based on how much they've invested, or according to your operating agreement, it may be based on if they're maybe doing more of the work, maybe a less investment. That all depends, and every company can make their own rules according to their own operating agreement. Now, on the other side, we have the corporation. A corporation's owners are its shareholders. So the company issues shares. So whenever you incorporate a company, you will have to tell the state, well, this is how many shares of my company that I would like or that I'm going to possibly be issuing. Those shares are then given to the officers or the quote unquote owners of that corporation. So who owns a corporation? The shareholders. That's who own the corporation. Who owns an LLC? Individuals own an LLC. Major difference. All right, next major difference. How is the profit and losses carried out and put into that LLC or that company? Now, when we're talking about a corporation, the profits and losses of that company can be held by the company. Okay, earnings may be paid out in dividends, or the officers may receive a paycheck from the company, from the corporation as an entity. So, how is that different from a LLC? In an LLC, the profits and losses are normally they pass through the owners. So the owners of a limited liability company, those profits and losses can be passed through them themselves, and those taxes can be done with them having their major stake in that LLC. Now, once again, these things, you need to have an accountant and you need to have an attorney. Always have one on your team and consult them before you make a move. All right, now we've talked about how they're different. Let's talk about how they're alike. So how is a corporation and an LLC, how are they alike? Number one, the liability. Both give you liability protection, okay? So whether you're an owner or a shareholder, you both get protection from any debt, from any lawsuits that LLC or corporation may encounter. So that is a major difference, and how those are alike is you get that liability protection from both structures. But there's a caveat. What you have to always maintain is you have to maintain a separate accounting, a separate activities for you as a personal and for your limited liability company or your corporation. So what that means is do not mix things up, okay? Don't put your personal expenses with your company expenses, because once you do that, the liability can shift to you as an individual, because according to the law, you've pierced the corporate veil. What that means is that you've mixed your personal expenses, your personal activities with those of your company, okay? We do not want to do that. We don't want to pierce that veil and give up that liability protection, which is one of the main reasons that we did form an LLC or a corporation, because the last thing we want is for something to happen and we personally are liable or are able to be sued for our personal assets. Okay, a lot of us have other things going on. We might still be working. This might be something that we're just starting, and we don't want that liability to be put on us personally. So we want to make sure that we've got all of our accounts separated, all of our activities are separate. The activities of the business must be accounted for, and those transactions must be put into a separate bank account and accounted for as a part of the business. Our personal activities, keep those separate. There'll be plenty of things that we can write off. There'll be plenty of things that expenses and things that come up with our company. We don't have to get it all at one time. Keep everything separate, keep everything legit. That way we don't run into any problems in the future. All right, now, how finally can we form an LLC or a corporation? Well, lucky for us, this video has been sponsored by Incfile. Incfile is who I use and who I always recommend that my clients use. They've got great privacy, great customer service. 1 year of registered agent service is free when you incorporate or form an LLC through incfile.com. I have the link. My affiliate link is in the description below. Use it if you like, baby. You know, it's there for you. In addition, the good thing about Incfile is that they have great privacy. So when you form an LLC or you form a corporation, they have an individual there that does some of the signing and is considered the organizer. So if someone does go online and look up, well, you know, this, no, it's not this. Okay, wonderful. Privacy. Ding, ding. I hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be plenty more. We'll be going into depth with LLCs and corporations as we move on in the future in our journey. Please like, please subscribe, please comment in the description below. I will reach out. Listen, we in this together. We the Scribe team. Make sure you join that by subscribing. Dream team, cream team, baby. In the house, B.O.B. Throw it on the floor, baby. Hit it.